Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to our channel, Foghorn 5. If you've ever ran a gas blowback rifle, SMG, or pistol, you know how realistic and fun they are to use. They could be a little bit temperamental if you're not cleaning them. So today we're going to be breaking down the step-by-step process to keep your gas blowbacks reliable, smooth, and ready for the field. Before we get into that, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for the 4,000 subscribers. We do have a Patreon up if you guys want to go check it out. We are offering a 2 to 3 day early access on our videos. So if you guys want to get the jump on seeing our videos early, shoot us $1 or so. We're literally only going to be going into field strip maintenance, and we're generalizing what we have here. We have a gas blowback AR. This is an MWS. We have a gas blowback SMG, a VFC MP7, and we have a gas blowback pistol, KWA Mark 23. We're just looking at this as a conceptual thing because you could clean any gun with the same few principles. It's all translatable from one platform to another. We're gonna go into cleaning, lubrication, and why PTFE grease is way better than silicone oil in literally almost every application. Our first segment, why maintenance is crucial. GBBs, they have moving parts, metal on metal wear, rubber seals under gas pressure. If you neglect these sort of things, you're gonna have possibly a loss of FPS. Maybe your bolt isn't going into battery fully, so you're not getting a full seal. Cycling issues, obviously, gas leaks, and breakages, stoppages, stuff like that. A proper cleaning and lubrication not only keeps your gun performing well and consistently, but prevents long-term damage. This is something that we have to do routinely. Our next segment, we're gonna talk about what kind of tools you'll need and materials. You're gonna want like some sort of cleaning cloth. I have a microfiber rag here, some isopropyl alcohol. This is 70%, so it's not as harsh. Some toilet paper, some toothbrushes, Q-tips. For lubrication, we have Super Lube. This is their multi-purpose synthetic grease, part number 21030. Highly recommend it. Super Lube multi-use synthetic oil. This is used so we can mix 1 part PTFE and 1 part oil, so then we could get the desired consistency in case this is too thick. But we'll get more into that at a later point. And then various tools that you might need for field stripping. Most guns, you won't need tools for field stripping, but I'm just putting them out there just in case. A hammer, a punch, armorer's wrench, metric Allen key set, standard Allen key set, screwdriver, multi-tool. Whatever you might need. 2 other tools that I forgot to mention are some valve keys or valve tools for gas blowback guns. These are 2 different types. This one's for the tappet valve, and this is for your inlet valve. So the one that you fill gas with, and the one that your hammer will strike on the back of your magazine. You use these tools to maintain your magazines, fix any seals or any issues that you might have. Continuing on to segment 3, PTFE grease versus silicone oil. Now I have some PTFE right here and a very small amount of silicone oil. Basically, I wanted to demonstrate something. PTFE grease forms a boundary layer of lubrication that protects metal on metal contact due to its emulsifier agent inside, and it stays put way longer than silicone oil, seep into places that you don't want it to go, especially like your barrel or your hop rubber. It's great for slide rails, bolt carriers, sears, everything. Even O-rings for your magazines and whatnot helps create a better seal than silicone oil ever will. Silicone oil is commonly recommended, but not ideal for high friction surfaces. It has really poor boundary lubrication properties due to it being oil. It's very slick, it runs around. On older GBB platforms, silicone oils can actually degrade the softer rubber compounds. We want to stay away from silicone oil, and I wanted to show a little demonstration. I'm just gonna put some silicone oil on this little wrench here and rub these together. It's fine, it's slick, but what's gonna happen is when I stop, it's gonna be a nasty metal sludge, and we don't want that on our gun. I'll show another example. Spread it out evenly. My finger is completely clean. So that is a huge indicator why you should use PTFE. It creates that boundary lubrication. Do yourself a favor, stop using silicone oil, and use some PTFE. So the next thing we're gonna get into is field stripping and cleaning our different platforms. So first we'll start with our AR platform, pop our pins out. However you need to disassemble will depend on your platform, on your assault rifle style. Then we'll go ahead and start cleaning. I like to use isopropyl alcohol, especially if it's the first time. If you're getting your gun from the factory, you're gonna wanna clean everything with isopropyl alcohol. Maybe do a deep cleaning. Get up into our upper, make sure we get any points that we can with a towel or paper towels. or Q-tips. Usually after that, just a wipe with some paper towels is sufficient to get the old grease off, unless you have like a catastrophic mess in your gun. Get some alcohol on a Q-tip, clean up in my chamber best I can, and then I'm going to go ahead and also get a cleaning rod to clean my barrel. I'll take a piece of toilet paper, put it into our airsoft cleaning rod, put a little bit of alcohol on there, and we want to run it through our barrel a couple times. Leave your hop setting as is. I like to twist as I go. Push it all the way through. Okay, go ahead and take a little bit of alcohol with your cleaning rod, spin it through. You could do this a couple times if need be, depending on how dirty your barrel is. And then next I'll start on my lower, get in my fire control group, and depending on if this is your first time or maybe it's really dirty, isopropyl alcohol really helps. Kind of clean up all the grit, pick it up, get into every little hard to reach spot. You don't have to go too crazy, but just kind of depends on how dirty your gun is. And oftentimes I will get in there with a Q-tip, try to get as far in as I can. Shouldn't take you too long. Just get up everywhere you can. We can see it was pretty dirty. And then same for our bolt carrier. Clean the outside. Our nozzle. A lot of times plastic nozzles like to pick up a lot of their own wear because it is plastic. Wipe your gas key inside here and where the hammer rides. Same with our charging handle. And I'm pretty light with the isopropyl alcohol. I just like to use it. It makes me feel like I'm getting everything clean. So we got our upper, our lower, bolt carrier, and charging handle clean. Now we'll move on to lubricating our bolt carrier, lower receiver, and charging handle. We'll take a small amount of our PTFE grease and basically work it into the four corners of our bolt carrier. And it just needs to be a thin layer. We don't have to go too crazy. Anywhere we see wear is where we're going to want to put our PTFE grease. And then if we put it on too heavy, we could always kind of spread it out with a new Q-tip. This corner, and our gas key. And then where the hammer rides. Put too much on, so I'm gonna take some of that off with a little piece of toilet paper. Anywhere we see wear is where we're gonna wanna put our grease. We're gonna wanna do our charging handle, the inside, the outside. We could spread this in with our fingers because this is non-toxic. Plus we could also kind of feel how slick it is that way. And then that's our charging handle and bolt carrier. Now we'll do the same for our fire control group. It might look different compared to yours in case you have a different platform, but the concept remains the same. Some on the hammer, the sear here in this case. Remove any excess that you may have overdid. Our nozzle, there's an O-ring on the inside, and depending on how your nozzle comes apart, the MWS is a little bit more tricky. Instead of silicone oil, we could put some grease on those O-rings in there to create that seal, and we really only need to do that once unless it gets really dirty or you're putting a new nozzle in. And then now we'll go ahead and reassemble since we got everything lubricated. If there's any excess on the bolt carrier, because that will pick up any dust that comes through, I like to wipe that off with a little bit of alcohol, or you could just do it with a regular rag. Okay, so for your magazines, if you're having issues with leaking, put gas in your magazine, put it in water, see where the bubbles are coming from. If it's coming from the top, then you have a leak somewhere up here, or if you have a leak somewhere here. If it's coming from the bottom, you have a leak coming from the inlet valve. So if you see bubbles after you've filled it, then you know where your leak is coming from. In my case, my leak is coming from my inlet valve, and we're gonna wanna make sure we dump all the gas before we do this and unscrew it with our inlet valve tool. Then we'll take a little bit of grease, and I'm coating the threads with it to create a seal. And the reason we wanna do this is because grease does create a better seal than oil. Oil is just gonna seep into your magazine and then out your barrel and create slickness in your barrel, and you're gonna lose accuracy. So now that I've greased that up, now I can put that valve back in. And some of these tools are kind of cheesy, so you gotta be careful because their teeth aren't so great. I'll just fill it up with gas. Make sure it's tight enough. but not over tight. Now, no leak, we're good. This same exact concept could be applied to any magazine. So if you stick it in a tub of water, just to see where that leak is coming from, look for the bubbles, and that'll tell you where it's coming from. Now I have a GBB SMG. Basically the same concept. Any SMG, any rifle, any pistol is gonna be the same thing. Pull our pins out. First time I've taken apart this gun. This gun I've never actually lubricated, so I'm sure it still has factory grease on it. Even on our spring guide here, our recoil spring guide, pull the spring back, get the rod, just remove any excess grease here. Don't have to go too crazy. And then same for my nozzle. And then on the inside of the gun, want to be careful when we're using a towel just in case we don't like smash into anything that's important. The MP7 is a very closed system, so your results may vary with different GBB systems. Do the same thing with some toilet paper to clean our inner barrel, and we leave our hop setting in the same position. And I'll just kind of zoom through this because we already showed conceptually what we do with any other gun. We're just going to clean the barrel. It's very simple. It's kind of hard to see the fire control group in there, but if you have an MP7, there is some areas that you could add some lubricant, like on the silver hammer. We'll go ahead and start with the bolt carrier. I don't have a lot of wear on this gun yet because I haven't used it that much. Go ahead and hit these slide rails where the charging handle goes. Basically another 4 points of contact. This concept applies to pretty much any gun. Wipe any excess off, that'll get picked up. This is wear from the back of the buffer, so we don't really need to worry about that. Right here where the hammer rides, and this little rail right here where we have some contact. And then right in here, the O-ring for the nozzle. Remove any excess. Yeah, that's our bolt carrier. Then we'll do our spring guide, and we'll just do a very light coating and work it in with our fingers. There we go. Then now we're good to put our bolt carrier, charging handle, and rear plate back together. Now we'll go ahead and get inside here. Not really going to be able to show you, but there's a silver hammer on the MP7, and I just hit that with a little bit of PTFE. Drop everything back in, make sure everything slides in right. Pop our pins back in. Put the stock back on. Ready for another game day. Now we will do the same exact thing that we've done for the other guns for our pistol. Results may vary on how you disassemble, but most pistols are about the same. We're gonna move our barrel and our recoil spring and get up in there, start cleaning, get the slide rails on the slide. Usually just a wipe is sufficient. It shouldn't take you more than like 15 minutes or so to clean your entire gun and get it re-lubricated and ready to play. And same with our pistol frame or lower, whatever we want to call it. Get the slide rails where the recoil spring rides, and then our fire control group and our recoil spring, our barrel and recoil spring guide, we don't really have to mess with, but our recoil spring, we could clean it. And then there we go, everything's clean. Now we're ready for a fresh coat of PTFE. One thing I forgot to mention is Super Lube PTFE is grade 2, which is about the consistency of peanut butter. And then we have Super Lube's multi-use synthetic oil, which is basically the same exact substance, but without the PTFE. We could make a thinner lubricant to be about the consistency of mustard or ketchup if we do equal parts grease and equal parts oil. So if you have some type of gun that doesn't like super thick oil, you could do this to get a lighter lubricant. In this particular case, this gun doesn't need a super heavy, thick grease. More of your heavy duty guns will need a thicker grease. So now I'm gonna use that mix of the oil and the grease from Super Lube. We'll go ahead and get that in our slide rail guides and the side of the slide. Work that in. And then our fire control unit. We wanna try to avoid getting anywhere that there isn't wear, just so we're not gonna let the gun get caked up if dust gets in it. Now we'll do the same for our slide. Anywhere we see wear, overdid it there a little bit. And then on the inside of our valve and on the inside of our nozzle, where the O-ring is, where the nozzle housing is. That's pretty much it. And then our recoil spring guide. And we're good to reassemble now. Doesn't have to be too crazy. You don't have to go insane over this. Just as long as everything is functioning, your nozzle isn't sticking, and then we'll go ahead and get our slide and barrel reassembled. Now that's reassembled, put our slide back on. There's our pistol. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for cleaning various different platforms. Conceptually, everything's pretty much the same. Anywhere we see wear, we're gonna wanna lubricate. Anywhere we see dirt and grime, we're gonna wanna clean. If we do it too heavily, we're gonna have problems. If we do it too light, then we're not, utilizing the lubricant as best as possible. So to make sure our guns are running well. I wanted to kind of leave off on the last segment with a little bit of a couple tips. Always leave some gas stored inside your mags. It keeps your O-ring sealed. Check your valves periodically for leaks if you have any. And then always use PTFE for any lubricant whatsoever, including your O-rings and seals and whatnot. And make sure you're just lubricating where you need to. Don't go anywhere that's unnecessary. You could always clean it away. Avoid any silicone oils because it'll spray up into your barrel and into your hop-up unit, and then you're not gonna have very much accuracy for your game day. Don't run your gun dry. All that friction will eat away at everything just as badly as silicone oil will create that sludge. We're definitely going to want to make sure we are lubricating our gun. Basically, just keep a small maintenance bag in your gear, game days, in case you have some sort of malfunction after a long game day, or if your action is starting to get sluggish, definitely get in there and clean it. Anytime your nozzles seem to be sticking, that's a good time to get in there and lubricate those. All these steps carry over, and once you learn them, you'll know it all. It's pretty simple. I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.